Talking Pirates men's tennis alongside head coach Billy Porter. Pirates sent 2 men out to the prestigious Ojai last weekend. Alexis and Dean represented for your side, Coach. A good weekend, certainly for the two of them. And Alexis, if you would just kind of recap what transpired out in California.
Yeah, so we were very fortunate to go back. Alexis was a repeat attendee. Dean, this was his first time going. Conditions were very different. We played in low 60s and cloudy skies compared to last year where it was 80s and sunshine, so I think that had an effect on it. I think Alexis kind of had an idea of what to expect. Dean, obviously being new, didn't quite have a full grasp, but learned pretty quickly that it was a pressure cooker and a high intensity tournament. So Alexis won the first day. He played Chapman and had a nice easy first round, which I think he desperately needed. And the second round, which was always kind of a very tough round, he played well against Cal Lu's number 2, their former number 1 player. And last year that was a 7-5 in the third set for him to get to the quarterfinals as a seed. He was a 6 seed last year, was a 6 seed this year again. And then he ran up against Varun Shankar from Caltech, number 1 seed in the tournament in the quarters up in Ojai. Took the first set 6-3. It was 2-2 in the second, and then Varun kind of figured it out and played like the number 1 seed, and he was just better than Alexis was, and eventually pulled it out. So I think for Alexis to get out there and get some strength of schedule, late season play was important. There were some results that took place that hopefully will increase Alexis' chances of getting into NCAAs. With Dean, he ended up losing his first round match to Caltech's number 2, had set points in the second set, couldn't convert, and then won 3 matches in the back draw, making it to the consolation finals. I mean, he was out of gas at that point. And the tournament director came to him and said, you have a doubles match scheduled at noon and you have a singles consolation finals at noon. Which would you prefer to play first? And I think that's a pretty heavy mindset to have to take in, and chose singles and didn't have it in him. And then in doubles, him and Alexis won the first day. They were in the quarters on day 2. What happened there was the 3 and the 4 seed lost on the first day, and we played the 5 seed, which they were motivated like no other because the opportunity for them to go to NCAAs with the top 4 teams going, and those 3 and 4 seeds being 3 and 4 in the region, the door opened up for them to get into nationals, and boy, they came out like they wanted to play there, and we ran into an absolute buzzsaw of Santa Cruz. I don't think we'd have beat them anyway, but the fact that they were that motivated and Dean was about to fall over certainly didn't help. But man, they came out to play, and they certainly deserve a chance in NCAAs, no doubt, after we witnessed that they played. So that was kind of the recap of the tournament, but overall it was a great event, and we were so happy to be back.
You mentioned for Alexis improving his strength of schedule and a chance to get into the nationals. For those who don't know, how does that work exactly?
Well, there's various factors. So the way it works is the NCAA committee meets when we're in the West region, and they'll have a call on May 3rd. And the top 7 of each region will automatically get an AQ into the national tournaments. And then they'll evaluate the 8s in all of the regions. And if they feel like an 8 will get in, then that's considered a wild card spot, but there's no guarantee that the 8 gets in. For example, last year Alexis got into nationals. He was the 7 in the West, and they chose not to take the 8 in the West, which was Trinity's number 1. And they allotted that spot to number 9 in the Northeast. So the Northeast got 2 wild cards in instead of just 1. And Alexis is sitting at 9, and the goal for him going out to Ojai was to improve his strength of schedule, late season play, and then see if other results helped him, which they did, because the number 7 in the West, who Alexis has a direct win over, beat number 3 in the West. So that now gives Alexis an indirect over the Pomona Pitzer 1, and we'll see if that helps his overall resume. Trinity didn't go out there, and the guy that Alexis is kind of competing for that last spot for, doesn't have the late season play. Strength of schedule maybe went down a little bit. So we're hoping the committee considers Alexis making a full-on effort to get into nationals. Obviously, it's going to be a tough decision between, I think, Jordan and Alexis, Jordan for Trinity, and that's kind of the process, the selection process.
When is the decision made?
Well, the decision should be made, they'll have that call on the 3rd of May, this Friday, typically will have a foundation going into the last day of conference tournaments for the Sky Act, which is that Saturday. And if anything changes from an unexpected result, they'll have to meet again. And then publicly, it's shared on May 8th before 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time.
Hoping Alexis is able to get in and continue his season and represent the Pirates at Nationals. Coach, congratulations on a great year. Hope it's not over just quite yet, and thank you for your time all season.
Thanks for having me.